Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Lectures on Human Diseases and Genes. In this video, I will discuss about Apert Syndrome. Apert Syndrome was first reported by French physician Edouard Apert in 1906. Dr. Apert provided a detailed description of the syndrome, noting its key features such as craniosynostosis and syndactyly. His observation laid the groundwork for the recognition and understanding of this genetic disorder. Apert syndrome is a rare genetic disorder characterized by a combination of physical, developmental, and intellectual features due to a mutation in the FGFR2 gene. It falls under the category of craniosynostosis syndrome, where early closure of the skull bones affect head and facial shape. Early closure of skull sutures leads to an abnormal head shape and facial appearance. Common patterns include a tall, narrow head with a prominent forehead. Facial abnormalities include flattened mid-face, protruding eyes, broad and short nose. Some may have moderate to severe intellectual disability, delays in reaching developmental milestones such as walking and talking. The skin of palms and soles are thickened, that is palmoplantar keratoderma. Conductive hearing loss are due to middle ear infections and other abnormalities. Dental and orthodontic issues include misalignment and dental crowding are common. Skeletal abnormalities are fusion of the fingers and toes, that is syndactyly, short stature, and other limb abnormalities. Some individuals may have cardiac defects. Mutations in the fibroblast growth factor receptor 2, that is FGFR2 gene, cause Apert syndrome. FGFR2 gene is located on long arm of chromosome 10 at position Q26.13, and it has a complex structure with at least 22 exons and spans about 175 kb of DNA. FGFR2 gene transcription produces various messenger RNA transcripts of various lengths, about 4.8 kb and 3.1 kb, due to alternative splicing. Exon 9 and 10 are alternatively spliced, producing major isoforms like FGFR2b and FGFR2c, which have different ligand binding properties and functions. FGFR2 receptor becomes overactive due to a gain of function missense mutation. Several other mutations are reported in FGFR2 gene, but the most common mutations in exon 3A, such as serine 252 to TRP and Pro253 ARP. The full-length FGFR2 protein is large, typically around 821 amino acid long. As a membrane-bound receptor, FGFR2 contains an extracellular region which is made up of signal peptide, 3 immunoglobulin domain, and an acid box. This is followed by a cross-membrane domain, a split tyrosine kinase domain, TK1 and TK2, and a short carboxyl terminal tail. Apert syndrome is inherited as an autosomal dominant manner. Most cases, about 98%, are de novo, meaning they are new mutations not inherited from parents. FGFR gene has complete penetrance but variable expressivity. FGFR2 protein is essential for normal development and growth, and mutations in this gene can lead to significant developmental disorders. Understanding its role and the effect of its mutation helps in diagnosis and managing conditions such as Apert syndrome and Crohn's syndrome. Apert syndrome diagnosis combines clinical findings like fused skull bones, that is craniosynostosis, and mittened hands and feet with genetic testing for FGFR2 gene mutations, often confirmed via CT or MRI scans, showing skull facial issues and supported by prenatal ultrasound. The diagnosis relies on recognizing these key physical signs and confirming them genetically, typically after birth, but increasingly prenatally with advanced imaging. Hearing tests are essential due to frequent ear infections and hearing loss. In prenatal diagnosis, 2D, 3D scan can show skull facial anomalies and limb webbing, often in the second or third trimester, though sometimes earlier. MRI provides detailed views of fetal brain and skeletal development. Amniotic fluid or previous samples can confirm the diagnosis by finding FGFR2 gene mutation. Blood test identifies specific pathogenic mutation in the FGFR2 gene after birth. There is no cure for Apert syndrome, so treatment focuses on managing symptoms and improving quality of life. For conditions like Apert syndrome, surgery may be necessary to correct cranial and facial abnormalities and address other related issues. Cranial surgery is done to correct abnormal head shape and relieve pressure on the brain. This is often done early in life to allow for normal brain growth. Facial surgery may be needed to correct facial abnormalities and improve function and appearance. Hand and foot surgery is done to correct syndactyly and improve hand and foot function. Therapies such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy can help with developmental delays and support overall function. Early interventions can help manage developmental delays and support overall function. Special education services to assist with learning and cognitive development. Multidisciplinary care involves collaboration with specialists including geneticists, surgeons, and developmental therapists to address the various aspects of the disorder. Regular monitoring is required for associated health issues including hearing and dental problems. The prognosis for individuals with Apert syndrome varies depending on the severity of the symptoms and the effectiveness of treatment. With appropriate medical and surgical management, many individuals can lead relatively normal lives, though they may require ongoing support and care. This is all about Apert syndrome. So, today we learned about Apert syndrome, its causes, symptoms, and how it affects the body. If you found this video helpful and learned something new, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, Lectures on Human Diseases and Genes, for more health insights. Share this video with your friends and family to spread awareness. If you have any queries, drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. Don't miss my next video. Until then, stay informed and take care of your health. Thank you very much.